Okay, so or something, but there's like a problem with the camera's video settings. It's like freaking out. Might be a cable issue. Hopefully that'll be fixed. Yeah, it's not a signal problem though, it's the cable. That's what that purple and green thing is, pretty sure. Don't actually know how to fix that. I'm gonna have to call them. At least it's morning in, oh no, it's nighttime in, damn. Okay, well, let's do that. I'm curious if it's gonna be messed up sync again. We'll find out. But let's do our best. Okay, I'm gonna get this hamburger steak. Give a call button. Oh, audio's in sync. Well, that's good. I put it in the widest mode because that's what it was originally set to. Maybe it's got something to do with the fact that we changed the modes, the focal lengths. おはようございます。これお願いします。ステーキ。そしてアペタイザーはそうですね。ポテト。そしてソーセージ。お願いします。これ
その奥にございますね。フリードリンク。
そうですね。ランチスープは何ですか？あそこ。ありがとうございます。So you see that basically what I got was I got a hamburger steak, an appetizer, which I got French fries and sausage, and you get soup from the soup bar thing. You get drinks free from the drink bar, and it's all like $11 US. It's really cheap food in Japan. Yeah, I always love that about it. Man, they have so much food here. I wasn't even looking at the lunch area. Okay, so I'm gonna go get a drink and a soup, and I'll be back. And if somebody takes the camera, then you'll know who it is, because you'll see who it is. Stand by, ladies and gents. And thank you for hanging tight during the technical difficulties. I don't know what I'll do to fix the camera in future. I was saying to anybody who wasn't in the chat when I said it, if it goes out of sync again, I'll probably just point the camera, like we did a first-person eating stream on the previous show where I ate a hamburger, and the camera was still on my shoulder. Maybe we'll do that if there's sync problems, because it killed the stream to adjust the sync. So I guess we'll have to do that in the future. But either way, たくさん美味しい料理, lots of delicious food. All right, I'll be back in a second. Stand by. I'm back. And I have Calpy soda. I have coffee and a Calpy soda. Calpy soda is like a Calpico. You've probably seen Calpico at, like, if you have like a Japanese or Asian store in your area. It's like a white. Milky soda. Very sweet. Good for waking up in the morning. And then I got a blend coffee. And this is like it's like all you can drink of like every type of drink that you want. They have like all different kinds of coffee, espresso, cappuccino. They have one of those Coke Freestyle type machines. The interesting thing in Japan is that they don't like believe in Diet Coke. They just don't have it. They have Coke and Coke Zero, but they don't have Diet Coke. So you gotta be ready for that if you're a Diet Coke aficionado like me. And then I got I think this is a milk. I'm not actually sure. As I'm trying to think, I think the same would have been like $18. Yeah, it's like everything's a little bit cheaper. It's like maybe 2/3 the price. Yeah, Glenn saying Coke Zero is better than Diet Coke? I can't agree with that. A lot of people say like, why don't you drink Coke Zero because it tastes exactly like the Coke, but there's no calories. And that, like, the thing for me is like, that's the problem. I'm not actually drinking Diet Coke because I want to be on a diet. I'm drinking Diet Coke because I can't stand the taste of Coke. I can only drink Diet Coke for the flavor. So yeah, I mean, you get used to it if you're in Tokyo, but yeah. Welcome to Get Good Glenn, by the way. As I'm trying to say, what's the name of the place? So it's called Jonathan's. It's essentially like Japanese Denny's. Like, it's a very big chain, but it's part of a paradigm called a family restaurant. They call family restaurants, like, these are like 24-hour Japanese diners, essentially. I can't open this thing. Where you can get like every type of food, and they're open and friendly, and I was saying earlier that I was listening to a podcast where they were saying, like, if you're coming back from the bar and the trains aren't running anymore, just find a family restaurant and like order a coffee and then sleep in the chair, and they'll let you. I literally cannot open this thing. One milk it is, one cream it is. I was trying to think, Ben, you're right. Instantly opens. Thank you. See, what would I do without you guys? I'd never get by in Tokyo. I would never get by. Thank you. Cheers. Kampai. How are you, Get Good Glenn? How's everybody doing? On this fine. What day is it for you guys? For me, it's Monday morning, but I think for you guys it might be Sunday or Tuesday. I think it's Sunday for you guys at night. I'm gonna say it's Sunday night for you guys. That's what the chat's for. There you go. Oh my God, so many of these foods that I'm looking at just look amazing. I want to try the spaghetti with snow crab. That sounds really good. But yeah, in Japan it's pretty interesting because when you go in the US to a bar, right? You go to a bar and you say, I want a beer. They're not just gonna be like, okay, here you go. Like, some places will do that, but most of the time you go to a bar, you say, I want a beer, and they say, what kind? And it's like, oh, we have craft beer, they have like all these local IPAs, you can get like this thing on tap or this bottle or whatever. In Japan, you say, biru kudasai. Like, beer, give me a beer. And then they say, okay, and they give you whatever the beer is that they have. Yeah, because like it's like they just like either stock one beer or they just have like the one default beer. And it's the same with soda, where it's like you order cola, which is a cola, and it's gonna be, Coke or whatever, Pepsi, and that's it. Like, you just get what they give you. It's a pretty interesting way to do it because it's very simple. I like it a lot. Sunday night, nice. Well, I'm gonna change the focal length. We'll see if this works now that it's sort of settled down. It's on super wide right now. We're gonna turn to medium. Let's see if that works. It should be less crazy fisheye effect. Yeah, it looks like it's not freaking out anymore. Because when I put my hand near the camera, it's like I'm, in a Beastie Boys music video. So last night we went to 2 places, and I was getting a little bit frustrated because one place in Akiba after the show, they were closing they had closed the kitchen, but they didn't close the bar, but they were turning us away because they just assumed that we wanted food. And I was saying we'll be fast, we'll drink at the bar, and he's like, oh no, the kitchen's closed. And I was like, okay, I know what you're trying to say, you know what I mean? It was a gaijin type situation. And then the next one, we went in, and the sign said that it closed an hour from then, and then the guy saw it's the classic white guy in Japan scenario where the maitre d' looks up, sees you, and says, oh no, you can't come in, and he's like, we're closed, but it really wasn't. It was an hour from closing. So that was frustrating me a lot. But we finally went to this really good skewers place, at the hole-in-the-wall type place that I really like, so I was glad about that. I'm always happier to go to a hole-in-the-wall place anyway. But yeah, that's it's very real. If you are a clearly white person in Japan, you have to be ready to get profiled. Just don't take offense to it. That's just their culture. That's the way it works. What am I doing today? I don't know. We have one thing that we're doing, which I probably can't film, but I'm sure you'll see it on the Instagram story, which is we have reservations at the Monster Hunter bar, the Hunter's Bar. So the Capcom bar is all decked out as Monster Hunter, and they have the Monster Hunter tankers. You saw it on the Instagram story already. We went in, and the guy said you need a reservation, so we made one, and I may be doing that. Otherwise, I don't know. I think I might want to go to Shibuya, or maybe our Monster Hunter thing is in the middle of the day, so we can't go too far away because we have to come back here to do that. But I'm pretty excited to do that. I don't even know anything about Monster Hunter, but it's just it's a really cool concept bar that they have, so definitely gotta try that. I don't know the rest of the plan. Walk around Shinjuku. For this thing, we're gonna probably walk around Kabukicho. And Kabukicho, get ready, because that, once again, is the place where Yakuza takes place. So, last time we saw the baseball batting cages from Yakuza in real life. And as I was walking around last night, when we were going to the bars in Shinjuku, I saw a lot of the Yakuza stuff. We saw the host bar, alley, that they have in Yakuza where all the big pictures of the hosts are. The mega Don Quixote that, is on that corner in Yakuza that we always go to in the game, that's very much one-to-one exact in Tokyo. Okay, Glenn, so you saw the batting cage? That's awesome. I know, it's crazy to see how well rendered Yakuza is of their depiction of that part of Tokyo. So yeah, you guys are gonna see some stuff. Keep your Yakuza, glasses on. Keep your Yakuza thoughts in your mind, because you're definitely gonna see stuff that you recognize. And I'll point it out too if I see something that I recognize from the game. But yeah, that's the cool part about being in Shinjuku, because that's exactly where the game takes place. And then we're probably not going to go to Osaka on this trip, but I would really like to to visit Donbori, which is that's where like the cabaret club that we run in Yakuza is, and like all the other, the bridge and all that stuff in Yakuza 2. So I'm excited to check that out. But that's not a this trip thing. It's a really good time. This has been an amazing trip. Also, the nice thing is that because I can speak Japanese well, there have been a few instances where we've said like, oh, we would have gotten turned away if I couldn't speak, as well. Not that I can speak that well, but like at least as well as I could to communicate what I'm trying to say. We've prevented ourselves from getting turned away at certain places. Which you have to understand that it's mostly not like a cultural, like they hate European people. It's just that they expect, rightly so, that most people who are white will probably not know how to speak Japanese, and they don't want to have like some kind of problem show up because they gave you the wrong order or because you couldn't understand what they're trying to tell you or something. So they just say like, we don't want to deal with it, I understand it. Like it's very logical or whatever, but it can get frustrating if you're just like trying to find a place to eat and nobody's going to let you in. But anyway, like being able to speak the language will solve most of those problems. Some places are literally like you have to be Japanese to be here. But most of them, it's about communication. Yeah, as a trying to say, communication problems. Like we had an issue at the Maid Cafe. We went to a Samurai Maid Cafe, which was really great. And they had like items on the menu, and we got like their set, and they did the cute like omelet with the ketchup drawing on it, and they did like a live show and like all this great stuff. And we were leaving, and then they said, oh, you have to order 2 more drinks. And like we didn't realize, because like, oh, like I was trying to say like that's okay, like we're heading out, like we'll just go. And then they're like, they got like concerned because what they meant to say was like, we messed up. We meant, it's because you're here for like another hour or into the next like time slot of hours, like you have to order another 2 drinks to like have been here, and we forgot to like give you that or charge you for that. But I didn't realize, so I was like, oh, that's all right, like we'll head out, because I thought they were saying like, do you want 2 more drinks, not you have to get 2 more drinks. And so that was kind of like, if I was like a cantankerous like I'm right, like I'm not going to stand for this type of American, like they would cause like a big scene. And people in Japan know that Americans are very entitled, so like they just don't want to deal with it. Oh yeah, good call. As a tundra post on the Instagram, like I've been going crazy on Instagram. It's like my story has like tiny little, like 100 little dots on my Instagram story because there's so many pictures. Yeah, the Samurai Maid Cafe was really cool. Maid cafes, by the way, are not. Ooh, I got double violence. Oishii. Arigatou. Gaming saying, what you have here is a failure to communicate. Welcome, Gaming Iron. I was trying to say it's great to see some off-stream stuff. Yeah, I love the Instagram stories normally because we're able to, update anybody who missed an episode. Like, here's what happened. But in Japan, it's been great because it's like, you can see everything, that I'm seeing. I'm gonna point the camera down now because we have takusan ryori, lots of food. I don't know if that like properly shows up, but there's a lot of stuff here, and this whole thing is like $11. because I got the extra sausage. I didn't realize this would come with potatoes. Otherwise, I probably would have just gotten the sausage as the appetizer. But I do like fries. Hopefully you can see that though. I think it should show up. There's another thing in Japan that like the napkins are different, and you'll notice it when you're here. They're like made out of like wax paper or something. It's very different than a U.S. napkin. Also, most places don't even have napkins. It's like not a thing in Japan that you like use a napkin. I was trying to think, so they serve breakfast, lunch, dinner? I think they do. I'm pretty sure it's like a U.S. diner in that sense, like a New York diner. And it's really good. I just like the vibe here. It's very chill, you know. It's called a family restaurant, so it's like nice for all ages, you know. You can just drink as much coffee as you want. It's good. It's a good time. That steak is really good. I can't get the stream to show up anymore. I can see the chat though, I think. That's good enough. As long as I can see the chat. You let me know if you can see everything on the screen, I guess. I was trying to say bro's not trying for breakfast. He's not a breakfast fan. He likes to save his, stomach meter in Yakuza terms for lunch and dinner and everything in between. Just various random places, which makes sense. I understand that. He's working on something at home though, so I just I'm walking around right now. Need ketchup? They do have some ketchup, but I'm not a big ketchup guy. It's kind of like soy sauce for me, where it's like I'll only put soy sauce on something in a very rare case, because usually I just want to enjoy like the flavor of the thing. I might do some ketchup with these fries though. French fries do need ketchup, that's true. Yeah, there you go. So let's see if I can, this is the really good use of the wide angle. I'm going to try and see if I can put it on wide angle, and then you can maybe see the food and me at the same time. I don't know if that's going to perfectly work, but we'll see. Also, I'm going to go get some more drinks, so stand by, ladies and gents. I'll be right back. Take a look at this oishii ryori. 탁상 요리. Okay, so I got more drinks. I have a melon Fanta now. There's a lot of Fanta machines in Tokyo. Fanta. I guess it's Fanta because they say Wana Fanta. But yeah, they don't have like Diet Coke, so I gotta make do. Gotta switch up the routine. As I was saying, I remember seeing different foods at a hotel buffet. Japanese history eating vegetables and rice. I'm glad I ate already. This view would be torture. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot of food in Tokyo. So it's like nighttime for you guys. I've been doing streams like in the relative morning for me and night for me, which I think kind of coincides with like, you know, being like at a decent hour of the morning and night for you guys as well. The interesting thing is tonight and many nights in the future, it's going to be raining. So it's going to be a little bit tough. I have an umbrella though, so hopefully that'll work. Although I don't know where I put my umbrella. Oh crap, I left it on a stoop. Whoops. I know exactly where I left it too. Maybe we could go back and get it on stream. Umbrella adventure. So we did like a whole bunch of stuff where we like already on stream we've tried a lot of exclusive Japanese items. I mentioned to you guys that I like to go to American places in Japan to see what kind of, you know, Japanese items they have on the menu. And they had like the teriyaki burger at Burger King, which they don't have in the US. It was like a $1 menu item. They had that like spicy chicken thing at KFC that was an exclusive Japanese thing. So I'm curious to see, like, there's Carl's Jr., there's I think Wendy's, definitely Wendy's, I've been to a Wendy's. There's McDonald's, there's Taco Bell. So we'll probably end up trying all that stuff. Because it's fascinating to me to see, like, oh, what's like the exclusive Japan thing? This is a lot of food. I'm not the biggest egg guy, but I'm going to eat it if that's the way they're preparing it. I like eggs, but I don't like a yolk running on top of another food, like a hamburger with an egg on it. I'm not a big fan of. But when in Rome. When in Rome, do as the Japanese do. So what kind of food, like, would everybody be interested to see on these shows? Obviously, I can't, like, promise that I would show it, but I'm always on the lookout for good food to try. There's actually a lot of really good, like, halal kebab places in Shinjuku. which we had last time. I'm excited to get one of those again as well. That's the interesting thing, is like the experience of being in Japan or in Tokyo is not just eating what is considered like Japanese food, but rather the food that is like a part of Japanese life. You know what I mean? Because in America, we don't only eat American food, we eat like all different kinds of food. And that's the same in Japan. Like, you know, karaage is like fried chicken, and that's like very uniquely Japanese. Like they make fried chicken everywhere. But somebody looking at it would be like, actually it was mentioned on the stream before, like that doesn't look like a Japanese type of food to eat. But that's the thing, is like, you know, Japanese people don't just eat, you know, rice-based or noodle-based things. Like there's all sorts of food types that are like common in Japan. I'm gonna say my umbrella is probably gone, but we'll go on an adventure to find it. And also, you can get another umbrella for like $3. But it's the principle of the matter. I think it's about time to go. Let's go pay for this and then head out. This is a lot of food. I have like a smorgasbord of drinks here. I have 2 coffees, 2 different kinds of coffee, a water, 2 different kinds of soda. Living the life. Okay, so I'm gonna go pay for this. I'll be back. Hang tight. enjoy this shot of food. I shall now put the thing on the backpack, so hold on a second. think I'll be able to find that umbrella, so let's just go into Kabukicho. We'll buy another one on the way, because it is going to rain tonight. Bistro is to the right. Yes, we should actually go that way. And this is like one of the most busy areas of Tokyo. Shinjuku, which is usually more crazy at night. Shinjuku is like they call it the red light district, because there's a lot of bars and a lot of nightlife and a lot of everything, but it's still super busy during the day. The train station here apparently is like the busiest in the world. Oh, Chrysanthemum, welcome in. We are walking around Tokyo. Shinjuku to be exact. Cool. Gonna get some Japan hype, by the way. This is Shinjuku. This is where Yakuza takes place. And it is insane. I love Shinjuku. What you're about to see in front of me is Don Quixote, which is the one that is in Yakuza. This one right here on this corner, you'll recognize it with this kind of like rounded off corner shop. This is the Don Quixote in Yakuza. It's exactly the same as the game. And don't forget, if you hear anyone say "Irashaimase," you gotta post some hearts. By the way, this is called Godzilla Alley because you'll notice that there's a giant Godzilla head sticking out from that building there. And I think it's every hour on the hour, he like does he like roars. See what I'm saying? Umbrella, arimasu ka? So desu. もっと長い、ありがとうございます。These are folding umbrellas. That's pretty cool. I don't know if I really need, but this is a little bit cheaper. I'm gonna get this. It's $6. Yeah, because my other one was pretty big. as far as like it's amazing how huge the streets are. Yeah, in here especially because it's so much through traffic. I mean, this is like the truly Tokyo part of Tokyo. Look, I see myself on the camera there. I'm gonna do this so that it doesn't point at somebody's face.
大丈夫ですか？今長いの持ってきますので。
長いできます。
あります。
とてもいい。
大丈夫ですか？
これは大丈夫です。
はい。で、今持ってくるので、買いますか？長いの。これで大丈夫。何長いこれは 長い傘。はい。
ありがとうございます。
はい。
ありがとうございます。See, I don't want to point the camera at people when I'm like ordering something or whatever. I feel like that's pretty rude. I mean, it's definitely pretty rude. So I'm gonna point it down when I'm like, you know, at a cash register or whatever. Man, it's so empty right now. So I'm gonna put this in my backpack real quick, but the camera's gonna move, so be careful, watch out. So yeah, this is like I was in terms of talking about this store on the left. I'm not sure which one you mean. Pride, Brightburn. 11:15. That's the interesting thing in Japan is that all the movies come out at a different time than the US. So like last time we were here, I think it was 2017, Spider-Man Homecoming was like still in the process of being about to come out, even though it had come out like a while back in the US. Yeah, I won't be able to like, I mean, it's the exclamation mark IRL type thing. Like, I'm not really gonna like specifically do stuff in requests to like what people want to see on chat, especially because based on the internet that I'm getting on my phone, you could have asked that question
hypothetically like 30 seconds ago, 3 minutes ago. Like I have no concept of what back there means. So this is really sad to me because this area up here, first of all, this is Yakuza. This is Theater Square, if you remember. This is like that big open area in Yakuza, but they tore down the building in the back, which had a really amazing video game thing called the VR Zone, where it was like all VR stuff. But it looks like the Sega arcade has added a VR section. I wonder if that like put the VR Zone out of business. They have this tower tag, whatever that is, and Taboo, which I guess is a horror thing. Can you take it? It's really interesting. But yeah, this is like absolute Yakuza. This is like one-to-one is depicted in Yakuza. This whole Theater Square thing. And this Grand Cyber Cafe is where we would go. It's the Net Cafe where you can read manga and drink coffee and sit there and use the computer. You guys are trying to think there was a recent thing I saw the VR Zone in Avad. Yeah, I mean, I was there in 2017, and it was like happening. I don't know why they took it down, but I guess maybe they're like remodeling it or something. Kekko desu. I've been saying that a lot of festivals and stuff there. Oh, that's interesting. I think the camera is pointed too far in that direction now. It's hard to know exactly what is straight for the camera. Man, I don't even know like what to get. So the thing I said to that guy who was trying to hand me a flyer is the thing that you end up having to say a lot in Tokyo, which is kekko desu, which means like, it's okay. Which means it could either mean like, yes, that's okay, or that's good, or it can mean like, I'm good. You know, like that kind of like Americanism, like, I'm good, I don't need that. And you say that a lot, especially here in Shinjuku, because there's a lot of barkers who ask you to go into their clubs and you have to say kekko desu, which is like, no, no thank you. So this again, Yakuza, you'll notice in the opening cutscenes of all the Yakuza that we've played, the two of them, anytime they go to Kamurocho, you see that giant sign over there, which that's sort of like where Kiryu comes in. So this is a specific like alleyway that is like our street that is in Yakuza. And you'll notice that it's kind of like serves two purposes, because kekko desu is like it means like I'm okay, I'm not interested, but it also conveys that you know Japanese, so like they kind of like give up on like giving you the tourist treatment, you know what I mean, like because they're trying to scam you as well, like at night when those guys try to draw you into their club, they're attempting to get you to buy drinks that are super expensive or what, you know how it is, but it conveys two things at the same time of like, number one, I'm not interested. Number two, you're gonna have a harder time tricking me because I can speak Japanese. They don't need to know that we don't know that much Japanese. Okay, this way. すいません。 Yeah, right now I'm by myself. Nice jaunt through Shinjuku. Oh wow, look at that, like 4-floor McDonald's. Holy crap. This is a Apache slop parlor. I'm sure you can hear how loud it is. But once you go into Apache slop parlor, it's like one of the loudest sounds you could ever hear. It's a, Phil Spector would be proud, it's an absolute wall of sound that hits you like a tidal wave. Yeah, they have a lot in San Francisco. Yeah, it's definitely like I'm used to it, because like when I grew up in the East Coast, when I would go to New York, you have to do that a lot for guys who are trying to hand out flyers and everything. But here, there's the double thing of like, you also want to convey that you kind of know Japanese. What? This bar is called American American Crystal, and it says only Japanese people. It's interesting that it's called American Crystal. That's the kind of thing I would not want to work there. I assume they have to have earplugs, right? You wouldn't be able to sustain a lifestyle of like working there. Or are you saying you wouldn't want to work at American Crystal? Either way, probably don't want to work at either one. So that's an instance where it's really not about the language barrier. It's just they don't want anyone, because there's also a concern about cultural understanding of like a lot of these places where there's no equivalent in the U.S. Especially a lot of the like, you know, places where like things they do in Japan there's a lot of things that are illegal in the U.S. that are not illegal in Japan, and that gets really, you know, at that point, they, I assume, are just going to be like, you can't come in because like you're not going to understand what this is. You know what I mean? I assume that is something, whatever that was in that place, was probably not allowed in the USA. So yeah, this is like, if you remember, this would be like the Millennium Tower, this Toho Cinemas here. And then like, this is where like the club is, Debra in Yakuza. So we're like in the heart of it right now. I would like to try one of these, like a escape room experience thing. Inspire. Mission time attack. Attraction. Mission time attack attraction. Yeah, it's like an escape room thing. I would like to do one of those. Ooh, here's a little coffee place. Coffee shop. Cool coffee shop. I'm down for a cool coffee. You were saying, I can't imagine what's in there. Yeah, sometimes you don't want to. Shinjuku is called the red light district for a reason. And Japanese law is crazy when it comes to a lot of that stuff. So best not to think about it, yeah. As we're trying to say, Tokyo's like New York and Paris. All the walking keeps you slim. Yeah, except it evens out when you eat all the food. I want to go in this coffee shop. I want to get a nice cup of coffee. I'm gonna point the camera probably downwards like a. Let's see, this is a coffee shop, like a proper Japanese coffee shop that has like curry as well as coffee. I'm gonna get this. I've been hankering for curry and coffee. I was trying to think it's mind-blowing reading all the signs but not being in the game. It's for real now. I know, right? Alright, I'm pointing the camera down. Hold on. Konnichiwa. これはいいです。すみません。おすすめカレー？カレー、はい。どのカレーですよね。ポークカレー。このそしてコーヒー、ブレンド。Should be good now. So I ordered a curry and a coffee, which is like the thing that you do at a coffee shop there. There's no equivalent in the US. Like you don't usually eat curry with coffee. Arigatou gozaimasu. Oh jeez. I'm like a silhouette. It's an interesting visual. Let's move it over here though. This thing, I got a haircut. I did. Just in time. Been putting it off for a very long time. I'm going to change the focal length here again. When you're in Tokyo, you get as many food items as you can stuff in your gullet. And that's what I plan on doing. So we just ate breakfast and now I'm eating curry. Oh, thank you, Chrysanthemum. I appreciate that. Wow, this has like been a pretty full morning. Let's see if I can check the battery on this thing. The only problem is the battery for this this live streaming thing. Okay, it's like we're gonna have to go soon because the battery's gonna die. But I think I'll be able to eat my coffee, eat my curry and drink my coffee first. you can't really see it. You can kind of see it, but this window out here opens up to like all of, you can see like the entirety of Shinjuku behind. So it's like a very prime piece of real estate. This is like it. This is what I love. So it is 11:30. I'm eating curry. I think I'm losing the chat now, or the stream rather. It should be good. Arigatou gozaimasu. 店の場所はとてもいいです。いいですか？ありがとう。全部新宿見えます。ありがとうございます。Alright, I can't really see stream right now, but we should be good. So you'll recognize this paradigm if you've played Persona 5, because the guy runs a coffee shop and he makes curry, and that's like a pretty normal thing. It's very good. This coffee is really good. Battery's holding out, that's good. Soon though we're gonna have to go back to charge it. Message from Verizon. Apparently we're only allowed to have half a gig per day of data, and I used it already in like 2 hours. I don't know how that's possible. Man, if that was high speed, I don't know what low speed is going to be like. Yeah, Verizon like throttled my internet or something. I gotta go get money from the machine. Got those ads. So. So, I noticed when we were leaving that they had a no camera sign. I feel really bad. They didn't say anything though. There's food in my teeth. So I can't see anything now. My Verizon shut off my data or something. Because I don't have. It's not Verizon in Japan, but Verizon handles the Docomo network, the Japanese network, and I have the service through Verizon. And apparently, they shut down or throttled my data or something. So I'm not really sure what to do about that. We'll find out. But I guess I'm gonna have to call it because I literally can't even load anything now. It's not even that chat is not showing up. It's it won't even load the app of Twitch because the data is so throttled. So we're gonna call that. We got a lot of stuff. Ate breakfast, bought an umbrella, went through Kabukicho, got some coffee and curry, one of my favorite Japanese things, and that's gonna do it. Thank you everybody for being a part of this, and